Thank you very much. My name is Anjar Priyandoyo. Um, I will give a presentation for the IEEE conference, which the title is Energy and Environment in Indonesia. I'm a PhD student, the second year PhD student from the University of York. So this paper mainly based on my first year research in the university. I will divide my presentation in 5 parts. The first is introduction about the energy environment in Indonesia. The second is on the methodology that I use. The third one is the description of the energy in Indonesia. The fourth one is the impact, especially in the aspect of air pollution and greenhouse gas. And the fifth aspect is the discussion on the policy based on the literature review. So what is energy development in Indonesia, or what is Indonesia? Indonesia is the history of the exploitation of natural resources from in the year 700, the exploitation of the plantation in Indonesia from the sugarcane to corn, and in the current period with exploitation of the fossil fuel energy. So why energy and environment research is important? For Indonesia, it's important because Indonesia can be described as the paradox of plenty. Indonesia is one of the largest exporter of natural gas, coal, or palm oil, and also having one of the largest geothermal reserve in the world. But on the other hand, Indonesia is one of the poorest energy country, which has the very low energy usage per capita and very low renewable energy usage. So this is an interesting question on what is the characteristic of energy development in Indonesia. The second reason of why energy and development research in Indonesia is important is because there is a missing link from the energy exploitation with the impact of the energy development, such as what is the link between energy and air pollution. And the main question is what is the lowest impact of the energy scenario in Indonesia. So in this research, I'm using a literature review. I try to search in the Scopus the paper that related with energy and environment in Indonesia. So based on the historical data from 1982 to now, I can map the distribution of paper and distribution of the research in Indonesia. As from the diagram, it can be seen that the trend of the energy research is increasing, especially in the late 90s, where Indonesia also faced the major transition from the previously exporting oil country become one of the biggest importing oil country. So what is the result of the literature review can explain about the portrait of energy in Indonesia? The first one is Indonesia has a history of low utilization of renewable energy. Most of main energy right now is like 80% depending on the fossil fuel, and there is some initiative of the government to increase the share of renewable energy from right now less than 10% to become up to 25% in 2020. So as you can see that the main energy that used is the coal, oil and gas, with the significant increase of the coal usage in the last decade. Average growth of the energy development is like 3.8% per year. From the industrial sector, in the last decade, the industry sector that showed the increased energy usage is cement, fertilizer and food. It's different with the previous decade where the mining and extractive sector is leading, but now it's changing into more infrastructure sectors. Um, this is the description of the growth in the industrial sector. And the next one is in the household sector. What is interesting is that Indonesia is still, in their household sector, is still dependent on the biomass, the traditional use of using wood. And in the late 2000, the kerosene usage is also decreasing because Indonesia doing a large transition from the kerosene into the LPG usage. So this is the growth of the energy consumption in the household sector. And another part is on the power generation sector. Currently, with the 50 gigawatt electricity in Indonesia, 70% of the capacity is owned by state-owned company. So where the growth is around 7% per year. In the power generation, coal is the biggest share with annual growth of like 9.3%. This is the example of the growth where it can be seen that the use of coal mainly used for transportation, for the power generation sector. So what is the impact of this energy development that can be seen in the literature review is the increasing air pollution and increasing numbers of the greenhouse gas. But another interesting part is the forest fire also provide biggest contribution for the greenhouse gas in Indonesia. This is the growth of the greenhouse gas based on the sector in Indonesia. So what is the literature review can explain to us is the first is on the policy design challenge. One of the biggest challenges that Indonesia need to face is the geographical challenge because it has 18,000 islands. So deploying policy on a national level is very difficult because there are a number of islands that not connected to the main national grid, and each island in Indonesia has its own strength. For example, some of the island has geothermal energy, but another island doesn't have geothermal energy at all. And the second policy design challenge is on the prioritization of the energy resources. So what should be prioritized between renewable or coal industry, for example. And the second things that need to be discussed is on the implementation challenge. What makes the implementation of policies difficult? Based on the literature review, it can be seen that the implementation challenge is mainly from the ineffective monitoring of the policy and also ineffective governance for this energy and environment policy. That's all for my side. Thank you very much.